Yo, Joe. Talking comics, here's your host. It's A Real American Brian.
And we're back again to dive into some more G.I. Joe. Issue number 6. On the cover, we have a cool image of the Joes reflected in one half of Cobra Commander's helmet, while the other half has the October Guard that we're going to get introduced to in this issue. Mike Vosberg and Jack Abel brought us this very cool cover. And we see the Joes escorting a plane in. To fail is to conquer, to succeed is to die. Larry Hama is scripting this issue, and Herb Trimpe is credited with plots and pencils. The Joes arriving back to the pit after a mission, they introduce the Vamp as the Vehicle Assault Multi-Purpose. And as they're discussing these different things, Hawk comes up and interrupts them. He has a mission from Flag, and Flag wants this mission to be all volunteer. So back to the briefing room, Hawk briefs the Joes on the mission. 2 days ago, a top-secret Russian spy craft crash-landed in the Hindu Kush mountain range of Afghanistan. The plane and pilot are now in the hands of the Afghani rebel hill tribesmen. We've known for some time that the Russians are testing all sorts of new hardware in Afghanistan. Seems they were using this prototype anti-gravity device to ferret out rebel bases. The rebels have it now, and they're willing to let us cart it away, if the price is right. We've got a CIA liaison team. They're right now getting the plane ready to go, but the Russians are closing in fast, and we have reason to believe that Cobra Command, the worldwide terrorist organization, is in on the hunt to boot. Our job is to beat both Ivan and Cobra to the punch. There are no landing fields or paved roads in those mountains, so we'll have to take the plane out over land by rough terrain vehicle. We'll drop the RTV components in by chute and assemble it on the spot. By following old smuggler trails, we can bypass populated areas and hopefully avoid the Russians in Cobra 2. Final destination will be Karachi, Pakistan, where the team will rendezvous with a transport ship flying neutral colors. I need 6 volunteers. Of course, all the Joes volunteer, and Hawk figured as much. So he picks out a team of Stalker, Scarlet, Clutch, Stealer, Grand Slam, and Breaker. Then, inside the G.I. Joe communications bunker, we see a figure reaching out to Cobra Central. He exchanges passwords with Cobra Central and then proceeds to tell them where the Joes will be most vulnerable and how many troops and vehicles they will have. As they sign off, it is revealed that it's Hawk. What the hell is he doing? Why would he be giving Cobra this information? Our 6 Joes drop in and are caught off guard by the rebels, who are waiting for them in hiding. We are introduced to the rebel leader Ahmed and the CIA liaison. The CIA man and Stalker have a little battle of words. Ahmed brings Stalker to where they have hidden the Russian plane and tells him the Russians have tanks and planes and all they have to fight with are rifles and knives. He asks that Stalker remembers them and when he gets home, help to send them some anti-tank guns and ground-to-air missiles. Then the Joes have all the parts dropped in for the RTV, and we see the Joes begin assembling it as if it's a giant Lego set. 23 minutes later, the giant RTV is ready to roll. They load the crate into the vehicle and prepare to depart. As they leave, Stalker tells Ahmed that he will do his best to get him the weapons he has asked for. The CIA man talks some crap about Stalker and tells Ahmed that he can't promise anything. Ahmed tells him he is a fighting man, and the CIA man wouldn't understand. Then here we have all the Joes checking in: Stealer, Breaker, Flash, Scarlet, Stalker, and Clutch. And as they roll by, we see 2 shadowy figures watching them from the cliffs. An hour later, the Joes come up on a giant rut that goes on for miles, too far for them to go around, and it isn't on any of the charts. Clutch nearly gets shot as someone begins firing at the Joes. Flash spots the muzzle fire and lays down some suppression fire of his own. The Joes are ordered to lay down their weapons and surrender. Stealer, Steeler, using the RTV, picks up the vamp and begins driving across the big canyon. We get a glimpse at who is attacking the Joes, and we see Colonel Brekov and Shrog. Then we get a nice 2-page spread here of all the action taking place. And we're going to call this the first appearance of the October Guard. Colonel Brekov, Shrog, Horror Show, Diana, and Stormovic. Scarlet shoots out one of the October Guard's front balloon tires. The Russian tires are self-healing to bullets, but not arrows. The October Guard has to bail out. They take cover and continue attacking the Joes. Then we are told that the October Guard are the Russian equivalent of the G.I. Joe team. Steeler in the RTV has a plan. Using some nifty features of the new vehicle to take the higher ground, they have the October Guard pinned down. Colonel Brekov leads the October Guard out of cover and charges the Joes. The two sides are stuck in hand-to-hand combat. The Joes and the October Guard are evenly matched and throw some verbal jabs at each other along with physical jabs. Then they see someone approaching and both sides say they aren't our reinforcements. Who is it then? Cobra shows up in huge numbers, telling both sides to throw down their weapons. They are all prisoners of Cobra now. As the Joes and October Guard agree it has to be that way, Cobra Commander orders that they are taken to the ravine and killed. So we end on a cliffhanger, making this our first multi-issue story. Kids of the 80s reading this and having to wait a month to find out what happens to the Joes, man, that had to be, that had to be crazy. They had to be on the edge of the seats for the entire month waiting to see. Is the end of issue 6. It was packed full. We got introduced to a new vehicle and its features. We also got the Joe's Russian equivalent in the October Guard, someone that seems to be the Joe's equivalent in combat for sure. Also have the mystery of what Hawk was doing giving intel to Cobra. But most importantly, we have 6 Joes about to be put to death. My favorite panel is the Hawk reveal in the communications room. It's just such a WTF moment. I mean, damn, Hawk, I knew I didn't like him for some reason. It's just crazy to me. Like, it's got to be the moment of the book where it takes you back more than anything else. But this issue had a lot to take in, and I'm here for it. I'm going to give this issue a strong 4 flag points. I can't wait to see what happens next. That is issue 6. Knowing is half the battle, and now you know. Subscribe so you don't miss out on the next video where we dive into the conclusion of this story in issue 7.
That was a real American Brian. And now you know, because knowing is half the Brian.